Kian Johnson, co-star of Alita Battle Angel, wants an Alita Battle Angel sequel. While the actor was excited when he found out about the Alita sequel banner flying over the Oscars.
To pull the banner over the Oscars.
That's incredible.
Alita Army. Alita sequel.
Wow, that's amazing.
He is now throwing his weight and support behind the Alita sequel movement in a new interview. While Alita Battle Angel wins the International Press Academy Satellite Award for Best Visual Effects, with Joe Letteri getting the Nikola Tesla Award. Mr. Letteri is a senior VFX supervisor at Weta and was asked directly about an Alita sequel, and whether it's easier to make a sequel compared to the first movie coming out.
With all the work that went into designing these characters and the processes, especially when it comes to Alita herself, does that make it, like, I don't want to say easy, but does that reduce so much of the challenge if we were to make like an Alita sequel and see this character again? Is it much easier the second time around?
Usually it is easier the second time around. Most of the time, the first time around, you are just trying to figure out what and who the character is. Once you've established that, it makes it a lot easier to get into the flow of the character. So yeah, hopefully there'll be a sequel.
We'll give you the full details about his thoughts on the sequel, as well as his favorite part of Alita. The Doctor is in. What's up guys, Doc Ito here with another Alita update. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so you don't miss any of Doc Ito's free repairs, buy those Blu-rays baby, and sign the Alita sequel petition, now over 144,000 signatures. And consider subscribing to my second Alita channel, where I'll be doing more experimental videos, free from worrying about the YouTube algorithm. See all these links below and in the pinned comment. So let's start with the Unilad Kian Johnson's interview about how he wants an Alita Battle Angel sequel. Sadly, all my tabs closed. Challenge accepted, I guess. Hashtag Alita Army Rise Up. Kian Johnson wants an Alita sequel. After introducing Alita, the article says Johnson played Hugo, a scrap dealer and love interest for Alita. Spoiler alert, his deathly fate at the end of the first film seemed fairly concrete. However, he hasn't curbed his desire for a follow-up to the fan-favorite blockbuster. In an interview with Unilad, Johnson exclusively revealed he'd love to see a sequel to Alita, particularly after the excruciating Edward Norton cliffhanger. When asked if he wants a sequel, the Midway actor said, "Oh yeah, after hearing stuff from James Cameron and Robert about where the world could go, I think the more that could come out, the better it'd get. There's so many different things that could happen and so much material. I don't think Alita could ever get old, so I'd love to watch another one, regardless of whether I'm in it." So this is great news. Obviously, Robert and James Cameron have been talking to the actors about the sequel and where the world could go, where the material is in the manga, what ideas they have about making the next steps. So that's great that there's a lot of groundwork and these actors are on board, whether or not Kian's actually in it, which would be quite a twist, but who knows, maybe they'll do some flashbacks or something with him. In any event, they've been talking about it and there is a plan. So yes, I'm glad that he's out here talking about a sequel. It gives us more momentum as we continue to fight. Kian continues saying it was my first real film, you could say, but we know Johnson's been in Midway with Ed Skrein, so it was great to see them together on screen, and for anyone who hasn't seen Midway, definitely check it out. I thought it was a very nice look at a historical battle of Midway. Kian continues talking about how he liked Sin City and the other Rodriguez movies, and it was a dream come true working with him, and then seeing Christoph Waltz joining the production. He was like, oh wow, this is real. It's been a wild experience. It continues saying the box office reaction wasn't bombastic, but it amassed a fervent fan base online with endless calls for a sequel. Johnson is not surprised. There's always something unique and world-building and different about Alita. Johnson adds, I always thought there's going to be a bunch of people that fall in love with the character. At the end of the day, it's for Alita fans. Then the hashtag Alita Army came along and they're pretty diehard. I think it's cool to be a part of something where people are so in love with it and it has such a big following and they want to see more. So this is great news. Like I said, having people like Johnson on board with the sequel. Also, it's great how you see the hashtag Alita Army being brought up by the directors and producers over and over again now. It's a little unusual, to be honest, for them to bring up an online movement of fans that frequently, but they know their fan base, and I love that they've been doing that. And I think a big part of this is I've always pushed for Alita Army to be a positive experience. We're not negative about other movies, and that has bought us goodwill from the producers and everything because they know we are fighting for this sequel. Now, Kian's co-star Rosa Salazar on her Instagram story continues to post Alita content with her sister, I guess, Angelique Cabral, quote sister, watching Alita probably on HBO. Again, it's streaming for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. Definitely go watch it. It's a fantastic movie. With amazing visual effects, as Weta Digital just announced, congratulations to Senior Visual Effects Supervisor Joe Letteri for receiving the Nikola Tesla Award. Different Tesla, sorry Elon, and the entire VFX team to Alita movie, which received the Satellite Award for Best Visual Effects. Satellite 2020 VFX hashtag Alita Army. I love how Weta is now just straight up using hashtag Alita Army in their post. And of course, congratulations to the team. As Dizzy B says, this is by far the best VFX I've ever seen. I'm so in love with all the characters in the world you guys have built. Absolutely, it is by far the best. And very interesting when you look at the Satellite Awards giving this award to Alita Army and Alita because of the competition it had against it. Winning Best Visual Effects over Avengers Endgame, Ford vs. Ferrari, The Irishman, Joker, and The Lion King. And like we talked about over and over again with our video about the Oscar nominations, Alita should have won as Best Visual Effects, and 1917, which actually did win, wasn't even nominated because the VFX in that movie were not great. My opinion, the cinematography was fantastic, 1917 was a fine movie, but it should not have been in the VFX running. The Irishman, also not ideal, but fine. I'll leave that as is. But as the LA Times reports, what the Oscars have been doing lately is giving the VFX Oscar to a Best Picture nominee, so that might be why they avoided Alita altogether. But in any event, who cares about the Oscars, right? The Satellite Awards, with it being out in space, seems like a much better award for Alita anyways. Of note, the movie was also nominated for Best Animated or Mixed Media Film, but it lost out to The Lion King in that category. Now, John Lado shared this on Facebook as well, saying thank you to the International Press Academy for awarding Alita Battle Angel with the Satellite Award. Congrats to Joe Letteri, Eric Sandon, Richie Bain, and my cousins, and the rest of the team. And here he is receiving the award. So congratulations to all involved. Well deserved. Now let's take a look at an interview with Joe Letteri talking about an Alita sequel and some of the work that Weta put into Alita Battle Angel.
Probably around 200 or so different versions of the character, because you look at Rosa's performance, which was beautiful.
What's your favorite moment of what you've seen so far?
I think my favorite moment is the scene inside the spaceship. When she discovers her berserker body, because that's a turning point. You know, you don't know who she is as a character. She doesn't know who she is as a character, and that's when she first starts to understand that there might be something more there. And,
You've worked on Avatar before this. Can you talk about how the learnings and the processes developed on that project helped inform or change how you approached this one?
Before Avatar, we always thought about visual effects sort of in compartments. You'd be making a character, you'd be making a set extension. But what Jim wanted to do on Avatar was to integrate the live action and the digital and make them be seamless. You know, so the idea that he could shoot in a virtual world with a virtual camera and see what was going on was about breaking down the barriers between live action and digital filmmaking. On this film, we took that further, but also in a different direction, where here we were in a live action world, but with a digital character in the middle of it. But we've used a lot of those same techniques and just brought those into this live action setting. So Rosa could be there with all the other actors and be part of the drama, and Robert could direct her. And again, there was no difference. We just became part of the film crew.
With all the work that went into designing these characters and the processes, especially when it comes to Alita herself, which is a character we've never seen like that before, does that make it, like, I don't want to say easy, but does that reduce so much of the challenge if we were to make like an Alita sequel?
And having gotten to work on a few sequels, I can attest to that, because most of the time, the first time around, you are just trying to figure out what and who the character is. Once you've established that, it makes it a lot easier to get into the flow of the character. So yeah, hopefully there'll be a sequel.
With Robert Rodriguez as director, he's no stranger to experimenting, whether it's 3D styles in movies, even doing VR now. Can you talk about working with him on this project?
Yeah, Robert's great because he is so open to new ideas. Like, having come from a background where Robert's so used to doing things himself, right, editing and scoring and even visual effects, that you can talk to him about any aspect of it. And if it's something that's new, he's not fazed by it at all. It just fits right in with, okay, let's try this and let's see where that takes us.
So thanks to Screen Rant for that interview. See the link below for the full thing if you want to watch it. And clearly they are interested in an Alita sequel, and it's great to hear the amount of effort and passion that Joe and the rest of the team have put into the Alita project, and that a second movie, if it happens, will be easier, and of course the lessons they learned from Alita will be going forward in Avatar. So remember to like and subscribe to the channel, continue to fight for an Alita sequel, as we do not stand by in the presence of evil. Like I mentioned, I did start a second YouTube channel, which I've linked below. I'm still learning how this whole YouTube thing works, but essentially YouTube has been liking my news updates, and I don't want to break the algorithm by trying out experimental, shorter, more frequent Alita videos. So feel free to subscribe. I'd appreciate it if you do. I'm going to be trying completely different things. I'm thinking more things like analysis of the manga, the anime, looking at the video itself, the film itself, analyzing different themes from it, I have no idea if the algorithm's going to like that, so I'd rather put this on the secondary channel until we figure out what it likes, because I've heard rumors that if you start putting videos the algorithm doesn't like, it'll stop showing the rest of the videos to people, and we want as many people as possible to find out about Alita, for Alita Army to grow, and for the sequel to happen. And if you have any ideas for content that you'd like me to see, things you'd like me to focus on Alita, feel free to comment on that video as well. So y'all have a great day, God bless, and we'll talk to you soon. Doc out.